Hi everybody, welcome to the KMS Quick Shots. My name is Flo and my guest today is the American singer-songwriter Melody Cruz. Hi Melody, how are you?
Hi Flo. I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you for being here. So let's jump right into it. Please tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Melody Cruz?
Who am I? Well, I am, like you said, I'm an American singer-songwriter, and I recently released my first debut single, "TOOLATE." So I would categorize myself as a pop singer. Um, and beyond just music, other things I do in my life, I'm a music teacher during the day, as like my day job. And I also, in my music, I make my goal to be really authentic, be open. I am looking to kind of change the way that we look at pop music. You know, I want to kind of add some substance to pop music, some depth, some honesty, and talk about hard things. I'd say that's my mission, like as far as who I am all the way around.
So you just told me you're a music teacher as well. When did little Melody decide I want to be a full-time musician slash music teacher? When did you decide to make music your life essentially?
I think I always knew, well, I mean, my parents named me Melody. That's my real name. So, I mean, I feel like it was just kind of always the plan in a way. My parents met through music. The studio that I'm actually sitting in right now is my dad's studio, like our home studio, and he put all this together. So I grew up around music. I watched my dad like record my mom singing. That's like how they met. So it's always just kind of been like the normal thing for me. Music. I feel like there wasn't really a deciding day where I was like, I want to do music. It was just kind of like, it's something I always did because I wanted to be just like my mom. So I would like, my mom would sing and I would sing. And then when I got old enough, my dad started helping me record my songs. So it's kind of just always been there. You know, I don't really know if there was a certain day where I was like, this is what I want to do. It's just like, it's always been the plan, I think.
So you essentially grew up in the studio.
I did.
When you were old enough, did you take classes for singing, or did you just were you self-taught?
I did take lessons. Well, I started taking guitar lessons because I always sang, but excuse me, I wanted to be able to accompany myself on an instrument. And guitar I thought was a good thing because it's light, it's portable, and I could take it to gigs, which I do plenty of now. I gig almost every single weekend, sometimes even during the week. So I did take lessons, and then I did take voice lessons when I was, I think, 11 years old. I started voice lessons. And they definitely helped me as far as learning to read sheet music and just accessing some other parts of my voice that I didn't pay attention to before. I think taking voice lessons helped me become a well-rounded singer. So I technically can sing like classical if I really wanted to, or like musical theater. I stick mainly with pop music or rock or, more on the radio side of things. But I did take music lessons, and I think that they really helped shape me and give me elements of other things that I wouldn't have otherwise been exposed to.
So as a music teacher, would you say if someone approaches you and says, why should I even take lessons? Isn't it enough to just teach myself how to sing or how to play an instrument? What would you say to them?
Well, my answer might surprise you. I think that if the reason someone's not taking lessons is because they can't afford it, I actually really encourage them to do their own research, go on YouTube, or use an app like Musician or like any of those, like Chordify. They have a whole bunch like that. Because I think that you can definitely learn from the internet. And I think that when you take music lessons, it's just like an extra layer. It gives you the structure, number one, because you have somebody holding you accountable. Also, though, there might be things that your teacher introduces you to, or your teacher might push you to do other styles that you would have done otherwise, and then you might discover something that you didn't know you liked or you didn't know you could do. So I think that I don't think it's a bad thing if somebody learns music on their own, especially if that's like all they really can afford to do. I think that they should put as much time as they can going on YouTube or looking at all the free resources, because there's a lot of good information out there for free. But I think that the benefit of music lessons, if you can afford it and if it's something that you really want to commit to, is that it might just help you grow faster, because, you know, we all need a little structure. It's hard to hold ourselves accountable, you know?
True. Yeah. With checking my notes here, you just told me about your stacked schedule regarding the gigs you just do. So I read on your homepage that every other day, probably, or week, you got gig after gig. Would you consider yourself a workaholic regarding music, or is this a natural thing coming to you?
Well, see, my family would like to say that I'm a workaholic. I like to say what you said, that it comes natural, because I mean, let's face it, this industry is so competitive. It's really oversaturated right now. And there just isn't time to waste, really. And being a musician it is just what I know that I need to do. It's not even something I want to do. It's just, it's to the point where, like, I know that I need to do it. There's nothing else that I can do. There's nothing else I will do. There's nothing else I want to do. So it's almost like if I try to take time out of my day to just like sit in front of the TV and unwind, I get restless, and I'm like, I'm watching a show right now, but like I'm wasting my time, and I end up just like leaving the room and going to do something. And like that also, I'm not saying that should be for everybody. I actually think it's bad that I do that, because I don't give myself that recovery time. But
which
I
can
guess
be risky to your health as well. So
it can. I know that it can. And I do make myself relax. I actually have a vacation coming up next week where I'm going to Florida for like a couple of days. So that's going to be nice.
Let me guess, 3 days?
Technically 5. We're going down Monday, but like that we kind of lose some of the day with travel, and then we're leaving Saturday. So I get like Monday through Friday to like really enjoy my vacation.
And the guitar is coming along?
It probably isn't, unfortunately, because just logistically bringing a guitar on a plane is just such an extra thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, I'm only gone a couple of days. It'll be fine, you know.
I guess as soon as you find any musician, you will sing along. So
yeah, well, actually, we have like this karaoke thing in the Universal Studios, and I have a bunch of friends I met there from last time, and we're meeting them again this time. So shout out to RJ and Sean. We'll see you this coming week in Florida.
So what's more fun for you, studio work or the live gigs? I think I know the answer already, but I'm asking anyway.
Oh, well, you know what? Honestly, I don't even know if I know the answer, because there's elements of both that the other one lacks that the other one has. Like the live gigs I love because I get to interact with people. I get to sing for people. But being in the studio is something completely different. It's when I actually get to be alone and I get to let my creativity just kind of go off and do its thing. And there's no one around to judge me. I don't let myself judge myself. I have a lot of peace when I'm in this room and I'm in the studio working. But when I'm at my live gigs, I also just have a blast. And I feel like it's like hard to say which one's better, because I think I need both of them.
Okay, you're the first musician ever saying so, because most of the guys and girls out there are just saying, I live for live gigs. So there's nothing that I'm living for them, and the studio work always is a tedious kind of thing to do. And
really,
so yeah, so that's why I was guessing the answer already. So, but are you still working in the studio of your dad, or do you pick different places now for working there?
I'm in this studio here. Like I'll kind of pan a little bit. Like here, I'm gonna try to like lean up. Like you can see we have the singing booth over there behind me. Like we have like all that stuff set up. That TV monitor we use for everything. Like we use Ableton Live, and my dad like is teaching me everything about it. So I think maybe the reason why so many people don't like studio work is because like it's hard dealing with like other people sometimes. But I'm very fortunate in the way that like I can just kind of come down here and just experiment with stuff. And I love that. It's almost like that's another form of expression that like, and I also use like DistroKid to distribute my music. Like I'm an independent artist. I don't have a label or anything. So it's like, in a way that's hard in some ways, but also I like it. I like being independent because I have the complete say over what I do, you know? And then like, it's just me and my dad working on the music. So like I have, you know, pretty much creative control over everything. And it's really, it's nice. I like it.
Yeah, it's a familiar atmosphere, or in your case, even a family atmosphere. So I guess this kind of adds the element of the comfort zone a bit, I guess. So
it does. Yeah, I'm very comfortable in this room.
I read on your homepage as well that you participated in the American Idol auditions a couple of times and got rejected.
A couple. It was like 13.
I didn't want to say the number, but
I'll say it. It was 13.
Is it that you really wanted to do this, that you wanted to prove them wrong, or why did you try so hard to be accepted there?
Well, yeah, I wanted to prove them wrong. I mean, singing is my identity, and I mean, when I was younger auditioning, because I auditioned for the first time when I was 15, because that's, I think, like the youngest, maybe at that point was youngest you can be. I don't know if it's like younger now or whatever, but they rejected me every single time. And I was just like, I'm not going to let them shake my confidence. And it's almost like, even though I know that those shows, like the contracts are kind of nightmarish, and a lot of people are like, you know, like honestly, it's a blessing in disguise that you didn't get on. It's almost just like, even if I got accepted, like I might not have even done it, but it's just like I wanted to prove to myself that like I can do it, but like I still haven't been able to.
Did they get under your skin when rejecting you all the times? Or
I think that they do. I think that they do. Well, okay. So actually, and like I'm gonna group The Voice and American Idol into like the same thing, because they're like basically the same audition process. They're very similar shows. So, like The Voice as well. I remember after the one audition, I went, I think this was 2019. So I was like 19 years old. And I sang, I think I started with like Love on the Brain by Rihanna. And then they asked me to sing a second song, which I was like, oh, that must be a good sign. And that actually happens a lot. I get asked to sing a second song pretty often in these auditions. So like, I do get that first little bit of like, okay, you're good. What else do you have? But it's always something like with the second song that they don't like. And I suspect it has to do with like, I don't really match the conventional look of an artist, which is just, you know, like I don't know. I just feel like I just look different, you know, and it's like, I feel like maybe that's why. But I remember the lady the one time said to me, I asked her at the end, I was like, look, I'm at a loss. Like, I've done this so many times now. Like, can you just give me a hint? Like, next time I'm here, what can I do? Like, just point me in the right direction. And she just like, she wouldn't even make eye contact with me. She like refused to she barely answered my question. She was like writing down. She was like, it just takes time. And I was like, great, that helps.
Yeah, no, it doesn't take time. And she knew what you were not bringing to the table or anything. But that would be the next question. Why even try to fit in there when you, on the other hand, got your own style, got your signature sound? We're just going to talk about in a minute. So you have everything an artist needs to go out there and present the stuff. So why even try to fit that
the mold?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. I think it's because honestly, it's very hard, especially in the United States, to get anybody to listen to your music at all. It is so challenging to get your music heard. You know, like, and I think that going on those shows, I always like assume that it would just kind of help me at least get seen and heard a little bit, so that like, because I never actually even wanted to go on those shows and win. Like, my plan would probably be to like go on, just, you know, and I would probably get eliminated at some point, but at least then like maybe somebody watching would be like, oh, she's good, let me check out what she did. And that's kind of why I wanted to go on, just for like the exposure. And like, also a lot of times if people go on those shows, they can get like verified on their social medias, which is also so important and so difficult to do in music. So I really just wanted to get on those shows because I wanted the boost and just exposure, really.
Like you said, the market out there is so saturated that you cannot even stand out of the mass, even if you bring something very unique to the table. So
Yep.
When you pitched me your track Too Late, I remember that I told you, okay, it's not really my style, but what do
Right.
I know? I'm just a blog guy writing about music, so it doesn't matter what I think. But in the end, you look for the things I said to you, what kind of not appeal to me in the track, were exactly the things you are aiming for,
That's the thing.
and that's exactly what I wanted to say. So if you know what you want, you know you have an exact mindset what you want to achieve, and you said before that you are trying to, if I remember this right, to break up the pop conventions nowadays, to give some meaning to the music as well.
Yes.
So this brings us to the new release, Too Late. Can you tell us about the song, how the song did come to life? What happened there?
Definitely. I think it was heavily inspired by the pandemic. And just in general, all of the crazy events that happened in our world in the year 2020. We had a lot of, obviously, sickness, and we had a lot of politically charged conversations, and it was just not a happy year. Everybody was pretty miserable. And I started feeling kind of hopeless. I felt like I was almost like a victim to be born in this time period. I was like, why am I born now? Like, when life sucks and like people can't even really like interact anymore. Like, because and it's not even like, even now with things getting better, like just like to bring back the like that I'm a teacher thing, like a lot of my students, like they don't know how to have a conversation with people. They talk in like texting language. Like they'll say LOL out loud and like in a conversation, or they'll be like BRB or like IDK, and it's like they're literally talking like texting. It's crazy. And so like that just made me like kind of dread the future in a way, and also just like things like climate change and things like all of these horrible things happening in the oceans and the animals and people. And it really just filled me with a lot of like despair. And I kind of wrote Too Late with all those feelings. And actually, I don't know if you saw the lyric video, but I made a lyric video for Too Late. And I'm not in my lyric video, but I used a lot of footage of things happening around the world in the background to go with the lyrics. And I think that like when people watch the lyric video, it'll make the message of the song even more clear, because there's a visual to match along with it.
So why not with the theme like this, which is kind of sad, beaten down, pressured, dark, even melancholic or something like this? Why did you choose to present that in this, I won't say punkish, but in this almost happy format, with the synth melodies and the positive melodies for singing? Why not just smashed people with your music in a very dark and dense way?
Yeah, I think I did it because it's almost, it's like an analogy, because I feel like right now there's people that even though all of this stuff is going on, they're blind to it. And it's almost like they're walking past like all of this, they're turning a blind eye, and they're just like, whatever, And I think that especially that synth intro, the and it's like it almost like when you hear the intro, you're like, oh, this is going to be a fun, like maybe a party song, maybe something like that. And then the first lyrics are kill myself because it's Sunday.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what is going on? But I feel like that's almost like people are going to be like, interesting. And then they're like, I feel like that just kind of maybe grabs people a little bit. And then they hear in the chorus that it's too late for me to stay, for me to slow down. It's too late. I'm getting nervous, getting old now. There's no way for me to swim back home to turn around. It's too late. It's too late. Actually, that lyric, it's too late to swim back home to turn around, there's actually a funny meaning behind that lyric. And it might be like PG-13 rated. So I don't know if
I have
okay?
the checkbox that says explicit content on my blog. So
okay, good. Okay, so that lyric that goes, it's too late for me to swim back home to turn around. What I'm actually talking about, and there's a clue of it in the lyric video, is it's referring to like when we're all like a sperm, Like when we're like, it's like, you know how like obviously like the sperm like swims, and I'm like, it's too late to swim back home to turn around, because it's almost like it's me saying like I wish I was never born,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, okay.
And yeah, and then like I think that the reason I made it happy is because there's that contrast, and it's like it's showing that our world, even though like there's all this stuff going on, but what are we doing? We're looking at like models Instagrams and celebrities, and we're acting like everything's okay, but it's not. And
Yeah.
that's what the music's doing. The music is acting like everything's happy and everything's fine, even though it's not.
So isn't there a great chance of people missing your point because of this contrast?
I think so. Yeah, I think that the point really has been missed a lot. Um, and I think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that people don't know me yet. They don't know me as an artist. It's my first song. Like what I honestly think is going to happen with TOOLATE is I think that I'm going to release other things. And then eventually when people start knowing me, they're going to look back at it, and then they're going to be like, okay, now I get it.
That's
But
what
it's
you
just,
meant, yeah.
yeah, but I just think it's just not time yet. But I had to put it out. You know, I had to put it out, and I did what I could with it, and it got, you know, some reception. But you know, I'm not gonna let it discourage me. I already have the next thing in the works, you know. So I you just gotta keep going and hope that one day maybe people will understand, you know.
Yeah, the same what just happened here. So if someone sees the bigger picture because you're telling this, it's one thing. But once an album or 10 tracks are out there, and every single track has a certain meaning or a certain approach, people start to realize, oh, that's the way how she just makes music. So this will totally make sense down the road. With you saying you're planning on releasing other tracks, what does the future hold for Melody Cruz?
Well, on November 12th, it's a Friday, so that's in what, 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. I have my next single, "Make Me Stay," that is going to be released. Which
does it fall in the same category as TOOLATE with the kind of happy approach, or is it something completely different?
It is something completely different. It is actually, this one is more, I would say if I had to put it in like a very specific genre, it's dream pop. So it's very like, there's a lot of like sounds. It's very like sonic, like just like, it's almost like, I'm trying to think of something I could compare it to. It is pop. It's almost like a pop ballad, but there are some elements of rock in it. And the message in this song is more about my struggle with mental health. It's about like my struggle with depression, having anxiety, being able to let go of toxic people. And this one is a little bit more sad in nature, but it's not like a slow song. It's still upbeat, but you can tell like the mood is a little darker in this one.
That makes me curious to hear it. The last question of the night would be, from now to the very far future, what are the big plans? What is the big picture for you?
The big picture. So I'm hopeful that I would hope in like the next 5 years that I can at least get some kind of name. And when I say name for myself, I just mean I just want people that look forward to hearing my music. Even if that's 10 people, even if that's, you know, like I want to find my audience. That's really my number one goal right now, is finding my audience. I haven't really found them yet. I found a couple people that like my music, but I haven't like reached a community yet. And my hope is that if I keep pushing, you know, doing things like using Submit Hub or like other, you know, things like that, like I think there's like a bunch, Sound Campaign, whatever. If I keep releasing, if I keep just pushing, trying to find new and creative ways to get my name out there. I'm still going to use TikTok. I don't really have goals in my mind as far as like 1 million, you know, followers or whatever. I just have a goal of, I just want to find my audience, and I want to find people that just want to hear me. I just want to find people that understand what I'm doing. They like what I'm doing, and they look forward to hearing my music. And that's really all I want. That's really my only goal.
That's not a small goal either, because with all the outlets out there, and you know this, between creating music, mixing, mastering music, putting music out there through independent labels and stuff to mainstream, and with all the single things, the day just hasn't enough hours to even take care of the socials as well as the gigs and stuff. So that's not a small goal you set there.
It's not small. No, it's definitely not small. It seems like it is, like finding an audience. It's like, okay, but it's hard. And if anyone who's listening to this is also an artist, then you know too, it's very hard to find people that actually care, that want to hear you. It's challenging.
It's just that once again, the market is so saturated. You get blasted with new music every day. I cannot even try to listen to any new track every day I'm being sent. So this is just, yeah, you just have to pick something, and oftentimes it's just coincidence. So you say, okay, of the 20 tracks, I pick this one and that one. I cannot listen to every one of them. So
yeah,
it's just not that the artist is doing something wrong, but it's just too many things happening out there. So even the industry finds a way to, I don't know, filter something like this, or this will even get worse because there are so many aspiring musicians out there. What will you do? Is you just can put it out there and hope to get traction with it in a way.
you can hope, but you know, that's why I don't rest. I just, you know, you just got to push and push and push and push and push, and
Yeah.
maybe something will happen, maybe it won't, but you know, if you're not trying, then you know, you just got to try.
Yeah. So what we can do is, guys, if you watched this so far, please check out the social handles at the end of the video to find out more about Melody Cruz and her awesome work. As we just heard, there's more coming, and there are bigger things coming than we just heard. So Melody, thank you very much for meeting me tonight. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for having me, Flo. I had so much fun talking to you.
Great. So that's it for tonight, guys out there. Be safe, take care, and we'll see each other next time. Bye.